This is the Boss Audio BE7ACP, one of the best sellers in 2021. Well, let's see what it's capable of. First thing that I've noticed was the raised bezels around the display, which makes it look a bit outdated, although it's a double D in chassis, compact, and that would give you more room to hide the harness behind. Speaking of the harness, Boss Audio does a great job in labeling each wire. There is two USB inputs, one is for the Apple Carplay and Android Auto and one is for mass storage or USB devices. Also there are two camera inputs for the front and the rear. And if you were wondering what's the deal with this trim piece, well, it comes pre-installed on the device and it will help achieving a flush install by covering any dash gaps. The box comes packed with a stereo microphone that can be easily installed on the windshield or on the dash, two side brackets and ISO screws. And if you buy the BE7ACP-C, it will come with this license plate mount camera included. Along with the camera we'll get these long power cables that will be enough to run from the dash to the back, and of course the hookup instructions for it. The head unit features a 7-inch capacitive display with a resolution of 800 by 480 pixels, has a semi-gloss finish being less reflective, which helps reducing the glare. It also features an SD card port that makes me think can be useful for quickly checking your GoPro or dashcam videos on the go. Now it's time for the boot time test, and if you watch me for a while you already know I like to do this for every unit that I review. And of course the agreement screen, but luckily can be turned off. We'll take a look later. Now it's time for the Apple CarPlay, which will be a wired connection and needs to be plugged in the designated USB port for Apple and Android Auto. The screen responsiveness when using CarPlay doesn't feel super responsive. It has a little lag and it can be annoying sometimes. When I was trying to use the Maps app, I had some trouble browsing the map. Felt like something wrong with the screen. It would go in the wrong direction. Or who knows, maybe it's just me not knowing how to use the maps. But then I tried the Google Maps as well and I had the same experience. So I gave up and moved on a different app, and I kinda again had the same unresponsive screen and very laggy. So now let's try to use voice control, which will be Siri in this case, by holding the left side button that has a microphone next to it. The buttons have to be firmly pressed in order to work. You will get a click feedback when you press them. And to be honest, they kind of feel a little bit flimsy. And if you were wondering, there is no actual physical button to take you to the main menu. But now it's time for Android Auto, which is also a wired connection. And we're gonna do a quick responsiveness test, which feels a little bit better than the Apple CarPlay. And by pressing the microphone button on the side, is gonna bring the Google Assistant, which is very helpful whenever you need to send a text message or make a phone call. And looks like Android Auto performs better in terms of responsiveness than Apple CarPlay. And yes, I was finally able to drag around and play with the map. Going back to the main menu, we will find a nice and well-proportioned user interface. Moving on to the settings section, here we have the general, which has some basic settings like daytime, time zone, language, and all that kind of stuff. What I want to point out is the power off delay. This is for that moment when you don't want your unit to reboot while cranking up your car, so setting a delay will help you to overcome that inconvenience. Another cool feature is you can disable the agreement screen whenever you turn the unit on. Audio section brings up some basic and easy to use settings. And here on balance and fader section, I'm having trouble dragging that dot around, but who knows, maybe that's not the proper way to do it. I was thinking to blame the screen responsiveness. If you are a sub fanboy, you will love those three options. By having 4 frequencies to choose from along with 14 sub-levels. Loudness is just another sound effect that is gonna boost the low and high frequencies. If you're planning to have an external amplifier, then it may be a good idea to turn this one off, so that way you will reduce any unwanted noise. The sound level can be set for each individual sound source, which is pretty nice because you can customize it the way you want it. Moving on the display section, we have illumination control. This basically dims your display whenever you turn the headlights on and off. When it comes to night driving with those aftermarket units, they can be too bright and your eyes will get tired on dark roads, even on the lowest brightness setting, just so you know. The wallpaper section is gonna let you choose up to 6 preset wallpapers. Unfortunately, you cannot have your own, you just gotta use what you got. Moving on to the Bluetooth section, this is pretty straightforward, not much to explain here. And switching to camera. Now, if you don't have any cameras plugged in, I suggest you to turn these features off, so that way your unit is gonna run properly without searching for a camera that never has. One thing to point out here is the rear view delay. By setting a delay will prevent the backup camera to be triggered when you quickly shift from parking to drive. Another small detail I want to point out is the ability to switch between cameras, and as you can see, this is the camera that comes equipped in the C package. Seems like a decent quality camera. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to click like and subscribe for more similar content. I'll see you in the next video.